YouTube, how are you doing today? We will be discussing Call of Duty's brand new title, Vanguard. This video will be much different than all of the other reviews you've probably already seen on YouTube. Not only will we be discussing some of the negative features that occurred in the beta, but I'm going to be showing you how to abuse them if they make it into the final launch of the game in November. In today's video, you're going to learn how to abuse things like the lack of visibility, skill-based matchmaking, the squad spawn mechanic, and many other features. There are some serious issues. However, this is a beta. I don't want to sit here and completely wreck Activision for allowing us to play their game before it has been finished. Here are some important things that I hope are changed before the launch next month. First of all, aim down sight time and sprint to fire times are a bit too slow. Combining this with a time to kill that is way too fast in my opinion, this game turns into a camper's paradise. Additionally, counter UAVs currently cannot be shot down. They are also really easy to spam. This means that the map is basically useless. Also, lobbies are torn apart after every match, ruining the game's social potential. This causes players to log off earlier because they don't have a social environment building. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider hitting that thumbs up button, subscribing to my YouTube channel, but most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day. We will be getting into the tips and tricks just after this montage of some of my fun times from the beta.
I might move my hand to your face. It's been a long and tiresome day. I've been waiting to come home and give you everything that I have. Now we could stay awake all night and have dinner in bed. Slowly watch as the sun rises or fall asleep instead. How it ought to be. Every day should be like a hovering cloud. When it's only you and me, no one else can bother us to step on our feet.
Hostile approach the zone.
No, step on our feet. There's a road that leads to pain. If we go down it, there's a chance we won't make it back. We better move to the positive side. There's a reason why we still have each other to hold. Now we could stay awake all night and have dinner in bed. Slowly watch as the sun rises or fall asleep instead. This is how it ought to be. Every day should be like a hovering cloud. When it's only you and me, no one else can bother us to step on our feet. Oh no, step on our feet.
ready for report. Double kill. Recon mission ready. Find the bastards. Triple kill. Bloodthirsty. Fury kill. They're taking Charlie. We're in the lead. Capturing Baker. Double kill. New intel ready for report. Triple kill.
There is something we need.
Shot, no biggie.
It's a leap of faith.
Taking Baker. Losing
Step away
objective
from the
Charlie.
comfort zone and be a little brave. So take a look around you. How far can you see? How far do you think you can run? Standing on your knees. It's a beautiful world out there. Just don't pass on the dare. If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. It can be a bit frightening. It's something you don't know. You need a little enlightening. It'll make you grow. It's a beautiful world out there. Just don't pass on the dare. If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. Oh, it's a beautiful world out there. Just don't pass on the dare. If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. Oh, if you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there.
They're taking Charlie. New intel ready for report. Losing objective Charlie. Counter recon aircraft fuel is ready. They're taking Charlie. Bloodthirsty. Double kill. Charlie is overrun. Hostile recon in the air. Spies in the sky. Round is nearly done. We can still save it. Double kill. New intel ready for report. Counter recon aircraft fuel is ready. Triple kill. Securing Charlie. Fury. You can thank me later. Enemy has a counter recon aircraft. Control zones up for grabs. New intel ready for a recon mission ready. Find the bastard. Double kill. Recon airborne. Eyes up. That's 5 down. Bloodthirsty. They're taking Baker. New
Here's where we're going to discuss some of the bad features of the game, and I'm going to give you tips and tricks of how to deal with them. First up is visibility. Let's be honest, whoever's idea it was to add that huge yellow glare to the screen ought to have had 24 hours to fix that issue the first day of the beta. Either way, if this ends up in the final build of the game, which I highly doubt it will, you can actually use this to your advantage. Basically, you're going to shoot at the opponents from exactly inside of that yellow glare. You'll notice in this clip that when I am placing myself within the glare, people aren't even shooting back, and some of them are just walking right past me. You can use these spots on a variety of maps to your advantage. There are tons of spots where that glare occurs, and as long as you remember where it is, you can use it to your advantage and make things so much easier for yourself. This is completely abusing the game's mechanics, I know, but it's very easy to build up some streaks while doing this. There are a few other things that I want to discuss while this clip is playing. First of all, counter UAVs are really easy to get in this game. They're also almost impossible to shoot down, as none of the rocket launchers lock on to them. Therefore, the minimap becomes almost useless. Using the perk Ghost or the Killstreak's Spy Plane or Intel are almost a waste in my opinion. I would avoid them until counter UAVs are able to be shot down. There are many other spots where you can abuse this visibility glitch. Here's one on Eagle's Nest, and as you can tell, once again, the enemies are not even shooting back at me. Even if they do catch you, they won't even have time to ADS quick enough because it is so slow in this game. Speaking of ADS times and sprint to fire times, this game is absolutely a camper's paradise. I am not too fond of this playstyle, but I don't look down upon you if that is how you enjoy to play the game. In this game, if you hold down an area where people need to turn the corner sprinting, you basically get a free kill every time. Essentially, if you get caught with your pants down in this game, you're absolutely fucked. As you've noticed, campers are very hard to deal with in this game. If you're shooting from behind cover, you can almost win the fight every time. You can't really rush around like you could in the good old days of, say, Black Ops 2. Combine this with skill-based matchmaking, and it's very easy to feel overwhelmed. But please, don't give up just yet. Stick around, pay attention to some of the tips that I'm about to give you, and once you've learned these things, you will be much better off. You can go out there, become stronger every single match, and eventually you'll be carrying your teammates inside of your backpack all the way to the victory. Make sure that you celebrate. Make sure that you have fun. And please, don't be overwhelmed by skill-based matchmaking. Let's talk about that one first. There are some ways to get around skill-based matchmaking. However, I don't really advise doing these methods. Skill-based matchmaking can actually make you a better player. If you watch competitive Call of Duty, people are not averaging 2 KDs. in competitive matches with pros versus pros. It's just not a thing. Sometimes it does happen when people play incredibly well, but I think that players in Call of Duty need to keep this in mind now that skill-based matchmaking is here and not going away. I personally actually enjoy skill-based matchmaking, but if you don't like it, I am going to show you some ways that you can get around this feature. Please keep in mind that I am the neutral YouTuber here, and I understand that people want to know these methods. I personally do not recommend using them, as number one, if you are making videos for YouTube, it will be very easy to spot if you are doing these things. And number two, you won't be growing in your skill as a Call of Duty player. The first method to avoid skill-based matchmaking is very simple. It doesn't cost any money, and it's very easy to do. Basically, play through a full match, and whichever player is the weakest player in that entire match, say they go 5-30, you want to hover over their name and join their game when they reach the next match. This is due to the fact that Activision is having their Call of Duty games break up the lobby each time, which means that if you continue to follow the worst player in the match, you will completely circumvent the skill-based matchmaking system, and every single match will be easier than the one before. The second method that you can use to avoid skill-based matchmaking is by using a virtual private network, also known as a VPN. These do cost small fees per month, but what you can basically do is set your location in a remote area, and the game will override its skill-based matchmaking sometimes for you, because it wants to find you a match, even if it can't give you those sweaty players that you should be going up against. You can use this method, however, if you are making YouTube content, it's going to be very obvious when you have such a huge ping in every single match and the players are basically not even shooting back. People will know that you are doing this. The third method of getting around skill-based matchmaking is to use a method called geo-filtering. By combining this with a VPN, you can actually place yourself and filter your matchmaking into areas where there is less competitive players. This is also something very easy to spot if you are uploading content to YouTube or streaming on Twitch. You'll notice in some content creators' videos, 9 times out of 10, the enemies are speaking in another language when they are killed. It's pretty obvious what is going on there. In my games, most people are speaking English. There's nothing wrong with somebody speaking in another language, but when it's 9 out of 10 of your kills, it's pretty obvious what you are doing. The final method to getting around skill-based matchmaking is quite an exploit in my opinion. I do need to stress here that I personally do not recommend using these methods. However, I am someone who wants to provide my audience with the information that they want to know. Not only does this help players who want to exploit the skill-based matchmaking system, it also raises awareness of what it looks like when players are doing that. That way, content creators can be held accountable if these are some behaviors that they are doing. This final method involves creating a dummy account. Preferably, create this account on a console. What you're going to want to do is tank your stats, make sure that you are barely walking around, shooting all over the place, making sure that you're dying multiple times before you get a kill. This account is going to get into protected lobbies, the very bottom of the barrel of skill-based matchmaking. All you need to do is search for a match, and join this account while it's already in a match. That way, you will be getting into those same exact lobbies on your main account. Thankfully, it is very easy to spot this type of behavior nowadays. All you need to do is look up a player's recent teammates, and if you see them constantly joining a 0.02 KD player and they have a 6 KD and are dropping nukes, double nukes on YouTube, you know that something fishy is going on there. The final thing that we're going to talk about is squad spawning. Basically, squad spawning is when the team spawns around players that are already in the map instead of the traditional spawns that were in, say for example, once again, Black Ops 2. If your team was looking into the spawn in Black Ops 2, the enemies would not spawn there. They would spawn somewhere else away from the enemy team. In this game, that is not the case. You'll find that enemy team will spawn right in front of you on a regular basis. The way that you can abuse this is make sure that you always keep one enemy alive, make sure that you're using a silencer, and that you're near the back of the map, and basically you can shoot people in the back as they're spawning. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please remember that some of the tips and tricks that I have provided to you could be considered exploits, and I do not recommend doing them yourself. However, one thing to keep in mind is that people who do engage in these behaviors might have better stats than you do, but that does not make them a better player. Please, try just dealing with skill-based matchmaking, try improving yourself as a player every single game, and I promise you it will feel better in the end. If you did enjoy today's video, please consider hitting that thumbs up button, subscribing to my YouTube channel. That way you won't miss any future content like this. But most importantly, please have yourself a wonderful day.